Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so the first thing we have on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of December 10th.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Next, we have an update from the construction manager. So that's like Scott Brace, you're up.
Okay, so just talk a little bit about what we've completed in the last month, and then kind of what we have moving forward, what's remaining. So outside, we finished up the fencing for the police impound lot and for the dumpster fencing. Took care of that change event that was approved last month, which was just temporary and filling the area where the fuel tanks were or are. Finished up site bollards on the inside. We working on painting facilities workroom and a few areas surrounding that. That's ongoing. The sprinkler work was finished up, so that's completed. Roof patch of the roof ladder that was completed for the mezzanine for the roof. Dust collector equipment set, the exterior duct work is in. And in general, I mean, there was some other punch list items completed and roofing and a few other things, but that's the main work. And then what's remaining we have for this month in progress is the painting. The balance of the dust collector duct work is coming in next week. So as soon as that comes in, that'll get installed along with the associated controls that go along with that, and the wiring and the powering. And once we have that work completed associated with the ductwork and the painting, we're pretty much ready to finish up and get a final inspection from the building department for the final C of O. There will be, so beyond that, we have, I mean, there's going to be some other punch list work that we're also still working on from the few punch lists that were issued prior to the other phases. Next, we have signage is all on order. Most of it's on order. The plaque is the only other item which is got all the information. It's just being finalized to get the final submittal approval, and then that'll get ordered. And that comes in. It's all pretty long lead stuff, so it'll be probably February before we get that all the signage in and get that then get installed. And then after that, it's really spring work, which is any of the landscaping to finish up and mostly seeding and growing grass. And then we have to, the other thing we have to deal with still is the contaminated soils and the old tanks. And again, that's going to be spring work. And we're actually scheduling the meeting for next week so we can review that, plan it out, and make sure we have everything in place to go move forward with that in the spring. And that's kind of the work update where we are at this point. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, has the ductwork been done above the mezzanine in the facilities workroom by the door?
The ductwork's done. There's they have to put in the elbow. So when they come back next week to do the dust collector, they have one elbow to put in to tie in the exhaust fan and ductwork that's up there.
Any other questions for Scott? Okay, then we'll move on to the change events. Let's see. Get those. Start with change event number 80.1, which is for $1,410.97. And this is, let me just make it a little smaller. This is for the footings at the mezzanine and the facilities workroom. Anything else you want to say about this, Scott?
I believe it was a discovered condition once they excavated. I think they discovered some differences between what was on the drawings and what was actually underground. It's a little bit before my time, so I don't know too much about it.
Is there a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, great. Next, we have change event number 110. This is for the oven circuit breaker or circuit, and it's $2,211.60. It was the wrong, if I'm not mistaken, the wrong amperage circuit to the wall oven in the muster room. Is that what it was, Scott?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Next is change event number 109. It's a credit for the unused portion of the ground law heaters. And it's a credit for $7,857.79. Somebody want to move to accept this?
So moved.
Second.
Take that one.
Any questions or discussion?
Mm-mm.
Take it and run. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed allowed, by the way. Okay. That passes. This is change event number 111. Changing the toilet partitions from steel to HDPE. It's for $1,587.22.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Was that, what's that for? You said a petition change?
Yes.
What happened with the one that was there? We don't get a credit for that?
This one was an actual change in material of the toilet partitions before.
Scott, I'm having a problem with you. You got to speak up a little bit. I'm having a problem hearing you.
Okay, so that was for toilet partitions prior to when they were ordered. So it's not a change out of, it wasn't something installed or removed. It was something prior to the order. It was a change in the material.
Okay.
Any other questions for Scott on this? Okay, I'm sorry, did we have a motion? I didn't, if we did.
Yep. Yeah, we had a motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes. So that's all we have for change order proposals. Next on the agenda is an update from Weston and Sampson.
So we're really at the end of the project. We're still receiving and reviewing closeout materials. We still need to make one last visit to the site to back check the punch list and to do a punch list on the work that hadn't been completed yet in the facilities workshop area generally. and the fencing that was installed. That's about it. It's still status quo. There's really nothing else going on. No new submittals, very few RFIs, and just really just closing out the project. Any questions?
Okay.
How long?
Yes, hopefully soon. I think it's very close. Scott, maybe you can.
Yeah, I mean, touch base a little bit on the schedule. So really this month, like I said, signage will be coming in February. So we have to come back to do the signage. And then again, we'll be back in the spring to do the area with the contaminated soils and the tank removal.
How far into the spring do you think you'll go?
The landscaping. I mean, if we can start pending weather, say, beginning of April, and, if we're in and out of there, hopefully in a month, we're done, other than letting grass grow.
I believe what Dan Carter heard back from Deep was, or was submitted to Deep, is that we had to have the underground storage tanks out by June 1st,
July 1st.
or July 1st, I'm sorry.
So, Mr. Ford, I think, generally the building is complete. As soon as the sign off is given by the building department for the facilities workshop area, the entire building will be available for use by the DPW. And then it's
Very
a few pieces to clean up moving forward, such as the underground storage tanks.
Any other questions for Weston Sampson? If not, we'll move on to STV's update.
Really what Scott had mentioned and John kind of ditto. There are signs that were temporarily put up in the parking lot, which have since been installed permanently, handicap signs and such in the parking lot, which is good to see. The fencing is gone up, and I'm told it's complete. I saw the posts up a week and a half ago, but the fencing was there, not installed, but I'm told it's installed now. So we're just waiting. We have 3 rooms that need to be approved by the town, and once this is complete, all 3 will be done at the same time. So really, that's that's our update, and it's just a matter of getting this thing closed out and moving ahead. Right now, we're having meetings rather than every week, every other week. So we're not kind of wasting time and money on that, because there's so few things to do. But some of the things we're waiting on is ductwork and lead time items. But we're getting there. So it sounds like what we'll have the majority of the items done, Scott, probably within a month, and then it will just be waiting for the time that we can get into the ground to finish the balance. Any questions?
Moving right along, we're going to go back to take a look at some invoices to approve. And the first one we have is for Supreme Court. This is the trailer rental for January, and it's invoice number 348621 for $95.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have an invoice from STV, invoice number 900-18629 for $1,977.23.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is, where did it go? Lost it. I don't have it up here, but it was the invoice for IMTL that I sent out this morning.
Yeah, the materials tested. Yep. Saw that.
invoice number 4034-J1. It was for some testing for $1,385.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And it passes. And then finally, we have application for payment for PDS. Application number 27 for $50,035.11. It's been reviewed and approved recommended for payment by both STV and Weston and Sampson.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Let's see, I think that probably. Is there any other business anyone wants to bring up?
Are we gonna go over the budget
Oh,
page?
yeah, we can go over the budget. That's important to look at. I sent out a revised budget this morning. Let me pull that up. Okay. Okay. So our total budget with the contingents is 11 million down here, 433. And our contingency, we started with $503.76, $503.76. We're currently at, between all of these overages and pending change orders, including the ones we previously approved, we're at $491,148. So we have about $12,000 left in the contingency. There are out there $23,000 worth of change orders that have not been reviewed and recommended yet, or if by the smaller owners group. But obviously we can't approve them all because then we would be in a deficit situation. If we approve them, there would be an $11,000, almost $12,000 shortfall. So the budget is not necessarily in good shape. We have not come up yet with a strategy to deal with the contaminated soils should they exceed the $10,000 allowance that's currently in the budget. Or actually in the construction manager's contract.
Nancy, all the credits that we have gotten, are they all reflected here?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Nancy, you said about the contaminated soil.
Yes,
Was that not supposed to go on the DPW?
part of the project included an allowance for $10,000 that in the event when the tanks were removed, there was some contaminated soils. So there's concern that where the soils that were discovered were not where the tanks to be removed are. So there's a concern that the extent of the contaminated soil is beyond the $10,000 allowance that had been predicted. So no, there's nothing that comes under the DPW budget. You mean their regular operating budget?
Correct.
No, it was supposed to be part of this. That might be a source of getting the funds. We don't know yet. We haven't. Public Works Director and I need to speak to the town manager and see if there's strategy that we can employ to assist in the event that it's needed, but it probably would require town council approval.
And we don't know what that amount is yet anyway, right?
No, we don't.
Okay.
So how firm are the estimates that we have in that last category? Do we know if all those things are coming?
On this remaining one,
Yeah,
I would let Rick or Scott talk about those. They probably know a little bit more detail than I do.
I think, I think some of those, Nancy and Gail, are outstanding change events that were presented. One was just to do some testing to, you know, do some drilling, find out where the contaminated soils were. And that alone, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, was up around $13,000. And
Yes, that's correct.
that's one that's included, which we, you know, we need to roll that in to the contaminated soils efforts. And that's one of the reasons why we're meeting next week, is to kind of get a strategy around what's the best way to do it. If we have to go after all the contaminated soils anyway, is the strategy of spending $13,000 to find out where it might be, you know, be a waste of money or not. And also there's one, I think it's $4,000 for, it's kind of a finishing detail in between the new and old garage that we're trying to kind of wait until we see if there was any money left in the budget, which it doesn't look like it is now. That wasn't, that we haven't acted on. And I don't know what else we have out there, Scott, but that takes care of about $17,000 of change events that we just haven't acted on.
Yeah, I was just taking a look to see what else was in that.
I think there's about $6,000 of smaller ones that we haven't addressed.
Right.
And I think actually this $14,000 in pending might also include one or two that may have been rejected.
And does that include the ones that you were issued to actually, no, the ones we reviewed today?
Those were in the pending.
Pending, okay.
But I think the pending may have, for instance, included the one with the cement covering over the old fuel tanks.
All right, $9,300.
Yeah,
That was about $9,000.
Yeah.
yeah, so that might free up a little bit more money.
so that one's not gonna happen?
Part of our discussion next week.
Any other questions on the budget? I like somebody's phone. Okay, any other comments from the committee? Great, our next meeting is on February 11th, followed by our March meeting on March 11th. And there's no public here to make any comments. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we're done. Thank you, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, have a good
I
night.
know.
Bye.